Coming to you live from Bourne, Massachusetts, a massive game in the West Division, a tilt between the 3 and 4 seed in this West Division, the Falmouth Commodores, on the road here at Doran Park against the Bourne Braves. Joining you here from Bourne, Matt Venezia, Zach Sardenik, Destiny Sanchez, and many others contributing to the efforts here today on the social handles and the live broadcasting here. The Commodores, after a walk-off win yesterday, Zach, now another big divisional matchup because right behind you in that 4 spot is this Bourne Brave group.
You get a chance to really put yourself in a great position for that third spot in the West. You win today, you'll be 2.5 games up with just 3 to play. Can't get a much better spot than that for Falmouth, and you keep yourself playing good baseball down the stretch.
Not the most comfortable 3-point lead right now over Bourne, and you would still be the road team in the first round of the playoffs, but the possibility of potentially hosting, depending on if the 4 team gets by the 1 in that first round, you could
to get as many points as possible, because if you make it to the championship round, it's decided on points across the divisions, not seeding. And so right now, Falmouth has 44 of anybody in the East Division, which would guarantee, if the Doors made it to the championship, that home field advantage would be Falmouth's.
That team is the Whitey Red Sox. We'll keep an eye across the division as well. But right now, the Commodores have a task to do. 44 points, good enough for the 3 spot with Bourne right behind at 41, sitting 20 wins, 19 losses, and a tie. That tie in that effort several weeks back. But for Jeff Trundy and his mates today, Star Spangled Banner has come and gone here at Doran Park. It's turning into a beautiful afternoon for baseball here in the West Division. As we talked about, massive implications on not only the rest of this season, for what we'll see in early August when these games really start to matter. And to set the table, we bring in Destiny Sanchez.
Thanks, Matt. Falmouth holds a 3-point lead over Bourne for the third seed in the West Division, with 4 games left to play in the 2023 season. The Doors securing a win tonight would put them in a prime spot to end the season off strong and hold that third spot. There's always been a healthy rivalry between these two teams, both being in the Upper Cape, and that competition has been strong all season long, and I'm excited to see them play tonight here at Doran Park.
Absolutely, Destiny, and obviously the Bourne Braves winning it all last year. The only loss en route to that title, Zach, was in round 1 against Falmouth.
And in game 3 of that series, Falmouth had an advantage, and Bourne was able to come back and win that game to get through, but those teams played each other really close. Falmouth, similar to this year, started slow and was playing really good baseball down the stretch. That's where they are right now. See if they can get that success going into next weekend when it really matters.
The other thing, too, partner, we mentioned how Falmouth typically, this season when they've taken on the Bourne Braves and won, they've won by a large total, as we talked about. And when Bourne wins, it's relatively close. The 13-3 win last time, back on July the 26th, against this Bourne Braves group, that was the most amount of runs Falmouth has put up against this Bourne Brave team since last year's playoffs, Game 2. It was an 11-4 win for Falmouth on August the 5th. I'm not trying to give implications to the playoffs, but at the end of the day, the Doors know how to score runs. We've seen it over this stretch, but for some reason, when they're on the right side of the victory side, it's always typically in large fashion against this Braves team.
Well, and a lot of that comes from the fact that Bourne can score runs, and so to beat Bourne, you have to score a lot of runs, and they've done that well in those wins. They're going to have a tough task today, though, against Ryan Fisher.
Absolutely. Ryan Fisher, one of the better arms in this group out of UNC, has been here for a good amount of time. The Doors saw him on July the 21st. It was a relief outing for him, but he takes the hill today here in a start against the Doors.
Numbers look good with the Braves this season. 1-0, 2.88 ERA, 19 Ks to just 4 walks, 74 strikeouts to 22 walks at NJIT. He was the America East Pitcher of the Year back in 2022, had a bit of a step down this year with the Highlanders in NJIT, but he's headed to UNC, so making the jump from the America East to the ACC for next year. But he's impressed. He's a workhorse, though. This is probably going to be a start where he can work deep into the game. He threw 95 innings in 2022, 90 innings in 2023. He's going to throw innings, and he can eat them up for the Braves. That's what they're looking for down this stretch, because a lot of games in a short period of time for all these teams headed into the playoffs.
Struck out 74 batters over the course of those 90 innings, as you mentioned, Zach. As you mentioned, good reason as to why he's getting the call-up, per se, to Chapel Hill as soon as this fall, getting ready. And, a lot of these guys, when they enter the portal, they can get into the fall programs and get some fall ball under their belt with their new teammates. And that's what is going to be happening for Ryan Fisher. But he'll start off tonight before getting ready to go to Chapel Hill. Big start here, obviously, against these Doors. The first pitch, fastball, check swing, right back at us at 6:05. We are underway with Caleb Hall, the designated hitter, stepping in here for the Doors. Caleb Hall had himself a good day yesterday, as we mentioned, had that 2-run base hit single that ultimately tied up the ball game for the Doors back in the 7th inning in the walk-off win yesterday. Takes a picture low and away, evens the count.
Talked to him during BP. He said he saw the ball similar to a beach ball size. He kind of showed me out how big it looked to him, and he was seeing it well yesterday. He's hoping to continue that today.
The offering here slowed down, went with a slider there, low and away off the plate, 83 on the gun. And it's a 1-2 count here to Hall. Caleb Hall just getting into his fits here with Falmouth, just 7 of 17, as this fastball went all the way to the backstop, up and over the head of everybody here. That one got away from Fisher, but he's only been here several games, Zach, 17 at-bats, and he's been pretty solid. A good outing yesterday in his debut, had that game with all those hits, had 4 singles in his debut.
Yeah, he'll definitely take that.
He chops one here out in front of the slider once again, and it's foul along the third base line. That's Cam Foster over there. We were having some light technical issues at the very, very beginning when we went through the lineups and renditions and all that. So Throughout the broadcast, we'll run back through them just to get everyone accustomed in case you may have missed that. But the infield, Cam Foster, Jonathan Vastine, Zach Eblin, and Michelle reading left to right. That's the infield with Caleb Hall hitting one right here to the shortstop, Jonathan Vastine, in the 2-2 count. The throw over to Garrett Michelle in time for the first out.
Vastine silky smooth at short. He made really nice play the last time we saw these two, and they can really get it done with Vastine and Eblin up the middle.
Now you present an opportunity for Travis Bazzana with one away. Bazzana been red hot for Falmouth, obviously in that 27-2 win just 2 days back. Bazzana 6 hits and 7 opportunities. I mean, he just really exploded onto the scene, and as we were joking about, kind of took the spotlight away from Michael Eze in his return. It was Eze who jumped out in front early with the 3-run shot early in the ballgame, but over his last several at-bats, Travis Bazzana became the star of that win.
And he's been the star of the summer. Out here for the Doors, over 420 batting average over his last 30 days. You take that plus the 5 home runs in that span and 12 stolen bases, 20 runs scored. It goes on and on. There's not much you can't say about what Travis Bazzana's done this summer.
He takes a couple off the plate and upstairs, all the fast variety. It's 3 balls and no strikes here to the all-star second baseman of Falmouth. Was an all-star this year, but was out in left field for the West Division a few days back at White House Field. This fastball once again off the plate, and it's a 4-pitch walk to Bazzana, the first base runner for the Doors.
Definitely not the worst thing for the Braves there to put Bazzana on, but I mentioned something in there, 12 stolen bases in that. He's towards the top of the league in stolen bags. You don't want to put him on the base paths either. At the end of the day, if you're an opposing pitcher, you just don't want to see him.
Had himself a stolen base in extra innings yesterday. Presented a chance with him being the game-winning run to move to second when the Doors obviously had Eze standing at third. That presented what we saw. Barry Walsh just needing a base hit to most definitely and more than certainly have a chance to win that ball game. And as we all saw, that's exactly what happened. Now it's Walker Yannick who gets under this one, sends it into the outfield, giving chase Zach Eblin. He gets called off by a center fielder who loses his cap. That's Gage Harrelson. Pretty close to the right side of the infield by the time that one went in his glove for out number 2.
Harrelson's a commander out there in center field. He's going to call for the baseball, and he's going to go and get it. He's got really, really good range. Made an outstanding diving catch yesterday against Chatham. He can play out there.
Now you have Tyler McGregor stepping in there now for the Doors from that left side. Tall stance in there, standing 6 feet 3 inches in there for the Doors. Been a mainstay in this lineup at first base out of Northeastern. Quick move over to Travis Bazzana, but he gets back in time. Fisher comes set, working set at the belt, offers a fastball at the knees, called for a strike behind the plate by our home plate umpire, J.C. Fernandez. At first base, Anthony Letizio, and down the third base line, Robert Melms. We saw Melms behind the plate yesterday. There was a lot of activity from those umpires yesterday. I will say it was something we kind of made note of. There was a lot of chaos and both coaching staffs, respectfully, between Jeff Trundy and the managing side with Wareham. Had a lot of conversations with the crew yesterday. Another move back over to Bazzana. He's back in there standing.
Not surprised to see Fisher go back to him there because the last move before that, Bazzana was jumping towards second base. It was timed really well by Fisher, and that's the closest we've seen somebody to getting Bazzana all year.
McGregor a little behind the fastball here as it's shot the other way into left. And a couple of moves to his right, and Josh Kuroda-Grauer will put it away. The Doors get a walk by Travis Bazzana, and that's it. He stays at first base with the side retired by Ryan Fisher. A 0 to start for the Doors here at Doran Park. The Commodores send a righty to the mound, Ryan McCarroll, out there for his 4th start this summer out of Wheaton College.
He's been impressive. Doesn't throw it too hard. That fastball tops out in the mid-80s, but he can locate it. He's got the slider as well, and then that changeup is the put-away pitch. He'll get more swings and misses on that changeup than you see from a lot of guys that don't throw that hard because he just uses it so well and plays it off the fastball.
Had himself a pretty decent start last time out. It was against Hyannis in that 8-7 win. A really, really interesting game. Went back and forth, but in that ball game, Zach, as always, Cam Smith always has the number of Falmouth.
McCarroll looked good in the beginning of that outing and then kind of struggled in the 5th and left that pitch over the heart of the plate on a slider to Cam Smith and got punished for it. But overall, I've been impressed with what McCarroll's been able to do, especially the first time through the orders against these teams. See where he goes here.
The Harbor Hawks in that outing did damage in the middle 3 innings. A run in the 4th, 4 in the 5th with that Smith home run really highlighting it, and then 2 more in the 6th inning. On the outside of those 3 innings, the Doors did not too bad with a ton of zeros put up. Ground ball here to Bazzana, off balance. He makes the play by the bag of second. The All-Star starts us off.
So smooth. That ball's hit pretty hard back up the middle, and Bazzana has to range to his right to make that play, cut it off, and nice silky smooth throw.
Pretty good effort there. Coming off the bat at 88. Not the fastest thing in the world, but to get over there and make that play, real impressive. Now it's Josh Kuroda. Grauer takes the first pitch. Breaking ball off the plate and away. In there from the right side. Out of Rutgers is Kuroda Grauer. Gets one here. Another slow down pitch. Looks like the changeup from Ryan McCarroll. That one's in there for a strike over the heart of the plate. Evens us up at 1-1. Out of the wind, and the offering, a fastball stays upstairs. Makes it 2 balls and 1 strike now. Kuroda Grauer has had himself a pretty decent season up to this point. Just hitting 200, but 14 hits and 70 tries. He chops one foul here, evens us up at 2. But against these Doors specifically, has had himself a pretty good summer. July the 13th, a matchup that we were here for. So last time we were here, had himself 2 doubles in that game. 2 for 4 on that afternoon. Fastball upstairs from McCarroll, and now we're full.
He's one of those guys that started the summer here, went to Team USA tryouts, and then came back to finish out the summer.
He doesn't get all this one here. It's chopped to Darnell at third. A long throw across the diamond in time to a stretch from Tyler McGregor for out number 2.
McCarroll's doing what he does best. He's spotting up, and he's pitching to contact. He gets strikeouts on the changeup quite a bit, but he gets a lot of ground balls because guys are rolling over that pitch, and that's what we've seen from both Vastine and Kuroda Grauer so far.
Derek Bender now, the designated hitter tonight. Many folks have him, if not the lead MVP candidate, right there behind Hunter Hines. Bender's got maybe not the home run lead, but pretty much the lead in everything else, including average at 390.
He's been really good. Cole Mathis has entered the conversation as well. He's been outstanding for Katuitt.
Dare I say, Travis Bazzana as well. After that 6-hit effort, he might need maybe 1 or 2 more of those 6-hit efforts to really catch up to the guys that have been here a little bit longer than Bazzana, but nonetheless, a good resume at that. The 0-2 left upstairs, tried to work him backwards there with the fastball up. Bender left it there.
I think you can make the argument Bazzana's been the best player, but because, like you said, he wasn't here all summer long, and that's going to hurt his chances.
Bender got on this one, and it's given a ride out into left. It's going to one-hop off the short wall and left. Turley got to it quickly, though, and that'll hold Bender to a very long base hit single. Went all the way to the wall there in left center, but nonetheless, it's just a 2-out single.
You'll take it. That ball was roped. Just barely stayed in.
Derek Bender was held hitless on the 28th against YD, but prior to that had himself a long hitting streak here. He gets back on the stretch for the Bourne Braves with that right there. Prior to going hitless on that game against the Red Sox, as this one is sent out to center on the first pitch. Nate Humphreys cruising in. He'll make the play. Was trying to get to a point about Bender having 5 consecutive multi-hit efforts. At least he's 1 step towards that here at Doran Park, but not much more as the Doors recover after that 2-out hit. We're scoreless after 1 here in Bourne. 5, 6, 7 due up for Falmouth. That's Gavin Turley, Michael Eze, and Nate Humphreys. Turley got into the action there just a second ago, fielding that ball off the wall off the bat of Derek Bender. 105 off the bat. An absolute rocket there, one hopping the wall and left. But Gavin Turley, 4 walks yesterday, Zach. A strikeout in between all of it, but found himself on base all 4 of those times. Scored twice in that ball game. That the Doors needed every bit of that game and the offense that it put up. All 9 runs were needed to put away the team in the basement in Wareham.
That's baseball for you. You had 27-2 win over the top team in the West 2 days ago. Extra innings needed to take care of the team in the bottom, but you get through that stretch at 2-0, and that's what matters. Whether it's a 1-run win or a 25-run win, a win's a win.
The Commodores ended the season against Wareham yesterday, winning 4 of the 6 matchups this season. An opening day loss that, again, was a tough stretch for Falmouth the next 15 or so games, but really took it to Wareham, as did many teams this summer. But nonetheless, as you mentioned, you got to take care of business to set up an opportunity now where you can really extend that lead in the 3 spot in this division head-to-head. Waving a miss there from Gavin Turley, evens up this count at 1. Right now, Fisher utilizing that slide piece pretty well there, low and away. Got a cut and a miss from Turley in there from the right side. Fisher from the wind, got a half-hearted effort here, and behind the plate, J.C. Fernandez signals strike 2. And now the Beaver behind in the count.
No reason here for Fisher to not go back to that same pitch after the last 2 swings. Maybe try and throw it a little further out.
The offering from Fisher, he decides to speed him up, and it's sent the other way and just foul, maybe by a foot or so along the right field line.
He went fastball just off the middle of the plate there and almost got burned because of it. You can try and speed up a guy like Gavin Turley, but his hands are so quick that it's really difficult to do, especially if you don't put that above the letters.
The freshman just tore the ball off the cover. Rather, the cover off the ball. This one is up and away. It's been a long season. Nonetheless, this year at Oregon State did damage this year. 14 long balls, 6 most ever by a Beaver, and that was all in his rookie campaign. Has brought that over here to the Cape for Falmouth, as this one is swinging effort off the end of his bat, foul along the first base line.
Still out in front of that breaking ball, but this time able to get a piece of it.
Gavin Turley really showing off that pop as of the last few games for Falmouth. Really just halting that ugly start to the year, 0 of 27. Sporting the average above 200 now. The 2-2. Broken bat up the middle. It's going to kick off the glove of Vastine into shallow right center. That's going to be a base hit. And the first of that for Falmouth here in this second inning.
Might be an expensive one, but it's a base hit at that. Good job by Turley. Staying through the slider. Finds himself a hit.
Sprayed the firewood around the area between home plate and the pitcher's mound here. But now Michael Eze will step in there for Falmouth. Has been good for the Doors in his 2 games, returning obviously all highlighted by the effort a few days back against Katuitt. Eze down the right field line, foul again, just a little late on that offering there, on that fastball. It was middle. He didn't miss a fastball. He got middle on the road at Lowell Park.
No, he did not. He made him pay for that.
We knew it was going to be coming for Eze. Hit .290 this year at Georgetown. Drove in 32. 10 balls over the fence this year for the Hoyas. Fastball upstairs, left up there. Forced the backstop, Caden Bodine, to stand up out of the crouch to receive it. Finds us evened up at a ball and a strike. Eze yesterday had a leadoff base hit, but then after that was put away consecutively 5 different times, and then ended up being the tying run because he was the last out of that 9th inning. He moved to second to begin the bottom of the 10th for the Doors.
He had some good swings. He didn't like seeing Jackson Reed, the last pitcher that he saw for the Gatemen, but able to contribute any way he can.
Deposited out into right center. That's going to split the gap for Eze. Going to third is Turley. He's getting held up by Brett Becker, the third base coach, and Michael Eze finds himself another extra base hit, and the Doors are in business here in inning number 2.
Nice job out there in right field by Pete Giaffretta to get to that baseball and cut it off. If it gets to the wall, Turley's scoring, but instead, he's held up at third Still a good RBI spot for Nate Humphreys.
Eze found himself with 14 doubles this year at school. Finds one right here in the Cape League. And it's been a really good return for Michael Eze. Hits in all 3 of those games since coming back here to the doors. Setting up a chance for Nate Humphreys here. Had himself a good amount of walks yesterday as well. That was the story of the ball game. Besides losing, 10 walks given up by the Wareham Gateman pitching staff yesterday. The Doors took advantage of that, and as we mentioned earlier, needed every bit of the runs that came across the plate. The Gateman made it rather, easier than it should be given all those walks. The 1-0 to Humphreys, taken off the plate and away, with Nate standing in there from the left side. Makes it 2 balls and no strikes. Fisher now working exclusively out of the stretch. Offers on the 2-0. Yanked it inside to make it 3 balls and no strikes on that fastball. And now Caden Bodine wants to go calm down his arm out there. Kind of been all over the place here in this at-bat with Humphreys. But a good situation brewing here for the Doors. Hits and back-to-back batters here to lead off this second inning for Falmouth. And now you present Humphreys, a pretty good slugging bat for the Doors. As of late, he's really come alive for Falmouth. Had a hit yesterday. Was an RBI double. One of those would certainly work here. The 3-0. Just off the plate and away. Humphreys walks once again on 4 pitches. This time he had 2 of them yesterday. He's back to first base with that same type of marking in our scorebook to load the bases still with nobody out.
All right, a second walk. That's something that Bourne does really well. They're best in the Cape League in not allowing walks on the mound. Just 154 entering today, now up to 156 compared to 362 strikeouts, which is tied for 4th.
Yesterday's hero can be the hero of this inning for Falmouth here. Barry Walsh takes a changeup downstairs, makes it a ball and no strikes. It's a good leave there by Barry. Put one the other way out of a diving reach for the first baseman yesterday for the Gateman in Grant Hussey to win the ball game. He fouls this one straight back. Got a slider. That got a lot of plates, Zach. Middle. Sent straight back to even it up at 1.
And Walsh was able to slap it through like you mentioned, but that was his lone at bat yesterday. Coming off the bench, he had himself trying to get warmed up. Now in this starting spot again today, looking to get going.
Walsh sends a pitch here. The fastball up and in, straight back again. He came in as a pinch hitter for Falmouth late in the ball game in the bottom of the 8th inning. The reason for that was Walker Yannick was ejected on a play at the plate. But after the home plate umpire, after conversation with the umps yesterday, Yannick in the lineup today for Falmouth. He was in the 3 spot here. Walsh goes up the ladder. And yesterday's late game substitution in the lineup today, but he starts off with a swinging strikeout for out number 1.
And those hurt. Those are situations where obviously Walsh is looking to do the same thing, but you got to put the ball in play. Bases loaded, less than 2 outs, especially with nobody out. Strikeouts can hurt.
A really good option, though, to have right here. Sean Darnell. Now game number 6 for him here. A hit in every single game. 10 in those 5 games that he's been here. Went 2 for 5 yesterday. 2 RBIs for the Doors. A total of 5 runs driven in over his last 2. Sean Darnell has been seeing the baseball really, really well there from that left side. Anything through here, you could certainly argue that Eze would be able to come in as well and score 2 for the Doors. Fisher goes with a slider, low and away. Just getting the back door in there for a strike.
It's a real good pitch. You don't give Darnell too much. It starts off the plate, bends back in.
The 1-1 from Fisher. Fastball runs off the outer edge. Good leave there from the Wallace Community College bat here in the lineup for the Doors. Rounding out the order with Caleb Hall awaiting on deck. Darnell, a couple of waggles with his bat here. Keeping his lead foot, his right foot, on the ground here as he awaits the offering from Fisher, who lifts his leg and delivers. Wave and a miss. Fastball just off of center. Good offering there, and it's 2-2. Ryan Fisher working backwards a little bit now, getting the bases loaded with nobody out. Got Walsh to strike out. He's got a good look here. It's fouled off of Bodine here. Went with that slider down, and just barely getting it was Darnell.
And lucky that he did, because it just popped enough to stay out of the glove of Bodine.
Sean Darnell has just been so impressive for Falmouth. You know, in a scout league when players come and go, he came in because of needing some help in the infield. I mean, no Gavin Keelan anymore. You had the designated hitter, Cade Snell, just tear the cover off the ball. He's not here anymore. But he has gotten here and found a home at third base, both defensively and in the batter's box. The 2-2 down in the dirt. That's a good leave on the slow stuff. And now, with nowhere to put him, the bases are loaded and the count is full as well. Good spot here for Sean Darnell. Hit .374 at school this year. Trying to jump that tally up here, but he fouls it off. Slicing over the concession stands here at Doran Park.
That's a pitcher's pitch, and that's what you want to do with a pitcher's pitch in a 3-2 count. Fastball up and away, just slap it out of play and get yourself another one.
10 of 25 this summer so far for Darnell in there, getting a 6th consecutive start for the Doors. The 3-2 on the ground at first. Michelle will do it himself. That allows Turley to come in. So nice job there on the ground ball out to bring in a run, a productive out at that, and the Doors are on the board first.
Now batting, the designated hitter.
Ball wasn't hit hard enough that Michelle thought they were going to be able to get both, and so if you think you're only going to get one out, you might as well take the close out and lessen the room for error there. Now a spot with Hall. Base hit will score too.
He had a good game yesterday. Did Caleb Hall. Drove in two. He's got a chance to do that right here with anything through here. Takes a fastball low here for a strike at the very bottom of the zone. Caleb Hall in there from that right side. Michael Eze, a walking lead at third. Right behind him, Nate Humphreys doing the same at second base. Fisher offers. He got away from Bodine. It gets away from him. That one ate him up on his wrist. That gets away, and Michael Eze comes in to score. I think Bodine maybe got crossed up there. I don't think he was expecting that pitch. It was a fastball inside.
Yeah, and he's hurt because I think that's the biggest reason why Eze scored there, because he wasn't able to hustle as hard out of it. He's been grabbing his arm. We'll see if he stays in. He's putting the mask back on. He'll certainly take it if you're Falmouth. Wild pitch on a called strike, or probably a passed ball more than likely, but either way, it doesn't usually happen like that.
Just being a former backstop, the way his body was moving, Zach, on the inside part of the zone there on the left side, almost like he's predicting that breaking ball to come back in towards him, and instead he just allowed his shoulder to just take that fastball off. Meanwhile, Caleb Hall is looking here on a pitch just barely in the zone. J.C. Fernandez rings him up. Not before the Doors find 2 runs in this second inning. Off to a good start in a very, very big game in this West Division battle. 2-0 for the good guys as we go to the bottom half.
Welcome back to Falmouth Commodores Baseball. Destiny Sanchez here with an update from Cape Cod Healthcare. Cape Cod Healthcare is proud to be the official healthcare provider of the Cape Cod Baseball League and shares a reminder that blood donated to Cape Cod Healthcare stays on Cape Cod. Help save the lives of your friends, family, and neighbors.
Now batting, the second baseman from the University of Alabama, number 9.
Thank you for that, Destiny. Good update on Cape Cod Healthcare. We hope the health of Caden Bodine there behind the plate. I mean, fastball off the shoulder there. I know you have that chest protector, but it's not much better than that Evo Shield kind of maybe elbow guard, Zach, that you could probably wear in the batter's box. That one certainly stung. But as we get back to the action here, Ryan McHale right back to work here. Worked that scoreless first inning. Gets a cut and a miss from Bryce Eblin here, today's second baseman for the Bourne Braves. In there from that left side. McCarroll out of the wind. Slowed it down on him, and it hung a little bit, and it's going to drop into right field for a base hit. Barry Walsh took it on one hop. And a leadoff base runner once again, this time for the Bourne Braves.
12-game hit streak now for Eblin. He had 11 hits in his last 4 games. He has been on fire. 38th hit of the season for Eblin. 36 of those singles.
Something about him and this, the 1B in your scorecards. He just really likes to get those. As now that presents a chance for Gage Harrelson. He takes a fastball upstairs from Ryan McCarroll. McCarroll so often has used that changeup as his put-away pitch, a pitch that you and I have talked to him about, saying that didn't really use it a whole lot at school, but for whatever reason has found a love for it here on the Cape. Decides better of it here with a heater, and it's right down the middle, just on the inner third for a called strike.
This Bourne team loves to run 102 stolen bags entering tonight, and Eblin's got 6 of those. He can go, but Yannick's one of the best defensive catchers out here. It's going to be a fun matchup if he does take off.
He's extending his primary lead, stays put. This is a ground ball to Tyler McGregor, and it's just foul. Was fielding it there on his glove side there. That left shoulder, but kind of took him into foul ground.
It did, and it's fortunate for Bourne that it did because he had his foot on the bag. If he does field that, it's probably a double play ball.
Slowed it down there with that slider. Eblin is going, and it's a swinging strike 3. He gets in there without a throw. Yannick didn't even think about it. And another stolen base. You can add to that tally, 103 of them now.
Now batting.
If you're wondering about the numbers, that's clearly top in the league. The last time a team got to triple digits even in stolen bases was 2014. Hyannis had 108. And the record in the point streak era, 112. Brewster had 112 stolen bags in 2010.
Encyclopedia Zach Serdenik with that update for us here. No doubt about it. I mean, that is just as impressive as it gets. Eblin, to this point in the summer, has been relatively active on the stolen bases to this point. That's number 7 for him. But he stands at second. Ryan McCarroll, long look at him before delivering here, and it's a slider over the plate. It's going to get down into right field for a base hit. Eblin getting waved around. He will come in to score. The throw goes into second, and the Bourne Braves cut the lead in half just like that off the bat of Cam Foster.
The stolen base makes that happen. You swipe second base, a base hit scores him. Otherwise, you're looking at worst first to third.
Virginia Tech, number 19, Garrett Michelle.
Cam Foster's had a good season against the Doors, but picks up an RBI there. Moved down a little bit in the order. He was up near the top of the order last time we saw the Braves here at Doran Park.
Big reason for that is he's been struggling since the last time these two teams played, but as you said, Matt, he swings the bat well against Falmouth.
Foster does pick up that RBI, his 11th on the summer, but as you mentioned, struggling 0 of 7 entering this contest over his last several at-bats, but starts off the right way here. Garrett Michelle was in on the action in that previous half inning, had a ground ball put out there at first, which brought in the first run for Falmouth. That was Gavin Turley across the plate. But he's behind now, no balls and 1 strike. Takes this one as well, but this time it's off the plate. Not a bad pitch. Statcast really liked it inside the up and away corner from that left-hander and Garrett Michelle out of Virginia Tech. In there from that left side. McCarroll, a couple looks up and down. Set at the ear. They try to pick him off, and they do. Cam Foster nabbed it first. I don't think we've seen that all season, partner. That's a pickoff for out number 2.
Cam Foster had a massive lead. He hasn't stolen a bag all season for the Braves. One of the few members of this team that hasn't, but he was looking like he was getting ready to go, and McCarroll put a perfect throw right into the tag from McGregor.
That's how you do it. And now Garrett Michelle digs in with nobody on, and now 2 away. Takes one up and in here, and kind of shrugs his shoulders out of the way there to make it a hitter-friendly opportunity here. 2 balls and 1 strike. McCarroll now out of the wind because nobody's on base, and his slider runs off the plate a little bit. And now it is 3 balls and 1 strike. Awaiting on deck is Pete Chafretta, who would have thought he maybe would have had a chance to get up in this inning. But now with Foster getting picked off, that certainly changes. A half-hearted effort here on a fastball upstairs makes it now a full count opportunity for Ryan McCarroll.
He was trying to hold himself back as he was swinging it. It's not what you want to swing at 3-1.
The offering from McCarroll. Slider chopped a little bit foul. The changeup there. Diving in towards the shoelaces of Garrett Michelle. It's that pitch that does not spin a whole lot, and it gets a lot of swing and miss on. Ryan McCarroll now trying to find a way. Again, gave up that knock to lead off. Eblin did come in to score on Cam Foster's hit, but you can just leave it where it's at here. The full count. Fouled off, sent straight back. That time the slider. Got a decent amount of plate though. Still fouled straight back. Ryan McCarroll bursted onto the scene for the Doors. A 6 strikeout effort against YD. I don't think he's going to get one here though. It is launched out into deep right and gone. Over the fence, Garrett Michelle, a no-doubter. It's 2-2.
Pickoff move looms large, though. Keeps the game tied instead of trailing. It's a Bourne team that doesn't hit many home runs. Only second on the summer for Michelle, but left him some spot.
Home run number 15 for the Bourne Braves this summer. And they are dead last in that category, if you're wondering. But was trying to get to a nugget about McCarroll and being a strikeout kind of machine up there on the mound. Had 6 at Red Wilson Field in his debut back on July the 9th. Followed that with a 2 strikeout effort against YD. And then struck out 3 in his last outing against Hyannis. This Falmouth group likes to strike out hitters. There is no doubt about that. Right now, 3rd in the Cape League, entering today's action. But now the 9-man Pete Chafretta gets to bat in a brand new ball game. Ahead of the count, 2 balls and no strikes. Front door pitch there, called for a strike. The changeup upstairs, pretty much at the letters. Nonetheless, J.C. Fernandez gives him the call. McCarroll looking for the sign and now into his motion. Got jammed on it here. It's going to play on a hop for Eze. He's got to get rid of it quickly and not in time. Really thought Eze was going to charge that baseball, Zach. And the reason to wait on it may have just cost him that put out. It's going to be an infield hit.
Now batting, the shortstop from Vanderbilt University, number 2.
Those ones hurt as a pitcher. You give up a home run and you throw a really good pitch behind in the count. You get a soft pop-up on a jam shot, and the guy ends up standing at first base.
Both teams having interesting second innings here. Just runs coming in all sorts of ways. The Doors on that awkward opportunity. And speaking of awkward, first pitch swinging. This gets through the effort of McGregor. That's going to allow Chafretta to go first to third. A base hit into right. It got by McGregor. Looked like he was set up to field that baseball and just didn't.
Tried to pick it on the backhand. We talked about it yesterday. Had the same type of situation in yesterday's game, and ball takes a bounce when you've got the backhand and ends up in the outfield. That's going to go as an E3.
Don't look now, but now you've gotten 4 consecutive to reach. And now McCarroll again on a couple of balls over the last 2 batters that you would expect him to get out of the inning on. Just has not been the case here. That E3, first error of the ball game here. The Doors, unfortunately, leading the Cape League in that category, errors in the field. But you present Kuroda Grauer with base runners on, going, and the throw down from McGregor. Is it in time, rather? Yannick, yes it is. Walker Yannick does a nice job to really put this inning to rest after some chaos ensuing, but it is still tied. Both teams get a pair in this second inning. We're still tied up after 2. 4 runs total, split down the middle for both sides in that second inning. The most recent run, that Garrett Michelle, no doubter, into right field. Couple of looks from Barry Walsh, but not much else he could have done on that ball. But now Travis Bazzana, 2-3-4 due up for Falmouth here, trying to get the lead right back. He's going to take this first pitch here. In there for a strike. Bazzana from that left side today worked a walk. It's the second man to bat in the order. This one spiking in inside the batter's box there from the left side. It got away. Bazzana kind of dancing out of the way of that one.
Yeah, it almost caught him on that front foot.
You got to be real careful, too. That's your all-star. You don't want to catch an injury there on a pitch diving in like that. Fisher comes set. This one's low, but more over the middle of the plate. Still down for a ball, and it is now a 2-ball-and-1 strike count. A couple of non-contested pitches missing for balls here from Fisher, who lifts his leg and fires here. And Bazzana deposits it into left for a base hit to lead off the inning. Nice start for Falmouth. Back-to-back innings with a base hit to start it. That'll certainly do from Travis Bazzana, who's now at first base.
That's what he does. Comes up and he finds knocks.
You could say that again. He just continues to rake, does Travis Bazzana. Hit number 46 this summer. Just bolstering that batting average. Entering today, 372.
He's trying to catch Bender for the batting title. He's going to need quite a few hits down the stretch, but he's going to have a chance to give him a run if he continues to stay as hot as he's been. Even yesterday wasn't his best game, but he still found himself with 2 hits.
Scott Landers, the skipper for the Bourne Braves, going out there to check on Ryan Fisher. You see that occasionally, even whether it be the pitching coach or the manager just wanting to go check on his guys, and in that case, Landers doing so. There is activity in the bullpen out and left for the Bourne Braves. We'll keep an eye on who it may be.
Looks like Zach Grace out there. He started the last time these two teams played at the Gov and struggled. But he only gave up 1 hit. He just had a lot of walks.
It was 1.1. Only that 1 hit, but yes, the 4 walks ultimately led to 4 runs, all of them earned, en route to that 13-3 win for the Doors. Walker Yannick now ahead 1-0. Make it 1-1 now as he comes up empty on that big cut. It's a good offering there. The slider, it's worked really, really well for him when he's located it. Diving off the plate away from the righty. Makes it a ball and a strike. Yannick, pop fly out into very, very shallow right center. Gage Harrelson lost his cap in the process, running in there to make the play. A pickoff move to Bazzana. He didn't dive back, though, to get back in. He kind of just, like, hop-stepped a little bit.
You'll see that more with him than anybody else because of how much he's moving and how quick he is laterally.
Another pop fly here by Yannick. It stays on the infield, though, swinging there, and Zach Eblin puts it away there just to the right of second base. And that is the first out of the inning.
Now batting, the first baseman from Northeastern University.
Similar swing to the last time we saw Yannick. Got a fastball in on it a little bit, didn't get his hands to it quick enough, and popped it up.
Now Tyler McGregor, the next man to bat here for the Doors, ended the first inning with a fly ball out into left. Very indecisive swing effort there. That's going to be ruled a strike anyways. Slider down and in towards the lefty. A back foot pitch there to start off the at-bat. Fisher coming set here. Bazzana dancing over there at first. He stays put, and it's fouled straight back. That's a fastball, inner third. And it's a nice start for Fisher here against McGregor. No balls and 2 strikes. McGregor, a couple of taps on the home plate area there with his baseball bat. Now he's in there from that left side. Bazzana still dancing at the bag. Fastball runs upstairs, tried to work him backwards here. Or at the very least, just show him the heater again in a spot where he can't do damage.
Just want to elevate it and theoretically a little bit lower than that to see if he'll chase it. Waste pitches that aren't close aren't pitching coach's favorite thing.
Bazzana is going, swing and a miss for the strikeout. The throw down is in time. Not quite sure what happened. It looked like Bazzana was going to beat the throw, Zach. And then on his slide head first, kind of just got stuck in the dirt. I'm not really sure how that all went down, but nonetheless, a strike him out, throw him out to end the inning for Falmouth. The leadoff base hit ultimately gets nabbed at the base at second, and the Doors go down pretty quickly there, 1-2-3, unconventionally. It's still 2-2 going to the bottom half. A leadoff knock from the doors. Gets put out at second to end that inning quickly. Ryan McCarroll now trying to protect the game where it's at. Still tied up at 2. Josh Kuroda-Grauer in there again. He was in the box when the inning ended, and that's because a similar situation took place on the bases, getting thrown out to end the inning. And ultimately, that's why the ball game came, or rather the inning came to an end there. Now Kuroda-Grauer steps back in, but he's behind. No balls and 2 strikes here. McCarroll full wind, gives him a pitch, and it's chopped to Darnell at third. Long throw across the diamond, and a stretching McGregor. It's in and out of the glove. We'll see what they rule that. The throw is a little low. I'd have to imagine Sean Darnell might be tabbed with the second mistake from Falmouth in this ball game. And as I say that, that's exactly what happens.
Number 44, Derek Bender.
That's the last thing he wanted. Allow the leadoff man on an error with Bender and Bodine coming up. It's going to be tough.
The throw certainly could have been picked out by McGregor, but it was just in and out of the glove. That's tough. And now it is Derek Bender, as you mentioned. Hit a ball a long way out to left for a single. Went all the way to the wall. But then it was Caden Bodine right behind him who popped out to end that first inning. But Bender taking that first pitch for a ball. There's a fastball there from McCarroll. Out of the stretch, pulls the string, and it's a good leave by Bender. Slider at 78. Low and away from the tall righty in the box out of Coastal Carolina.
Bender's so disciplined. He doesn't walk a ton, but he doesn't strike out much either. He's going to take pitches, and then when he gets something in the zone, he's going to put it in play.
Josh Kuroda-Grauer being checked on there by Ryan McCarroll. Kuroda-Grauer certainly can run if he has to. Swiped 8 bags this year. Bender, straightaway fly balled, and Nate Humphreys, he'll put it away. Out there in center. Couple looks of disgust there. It looks like he just missed that one for out number 1.
Yeah, he still hit 103 off the bat.
Now batting, the catcher from Coastal Carolina, number 45.
He's been seeing the baseball rather well, but right at a fielder. In this case, it was Humphreys in center for that out. So now you bring in Caden Bodine. He was retired by Nate Humphreys last time he stepped in. Another quick move on Kuroda-Grauer. He does run. 8 stolen bags this year. As we mentioned, the big number, and again, another one as I'm saying that. That's a total of 3 checkovers since he stood over there at first base from Josh Kuroda-Grauer. 8 stolen bags for him this year. He starts to go and then goes back. Yannick popping out of the crouch, receiving that fastball off the plate and away from the lefty and Caden Bodine.
Interested to see if McCarroll's going to mix in a slide step here because he has a really high leg kick, and that can give a really good jump for those runners, especially as a right-handed pitcher on the mound.
Kuroda-Grauer is going. Kind of stumbled a little bit. The throw down, is it in time? Yes, it is. Eze applies the tag. The throw led him right into the chest right there of Kuroda-Grauer. And Walker Yannick does it again.
You can't place a throw any better than that. Even on a changeup low, perfect look.
Walker Yannick, one of the very best defensive catchers in the Cape League. And it's so important that he's back there for several reasons. As we see the 2-0 offering. Off the plate on the changeup there, makes it 3-0 to the switch hitter in Bodine. With all those injuries and kind of shuffling of the cards, Yannick had to play third base for some games. You had Luke Heyman behind the plate. While Yannick's bat, as we see a fastball outer third called for a strike low and away, his bat was still in the order, but it just wasn't behind the plate. Now, you see why it's so important to have the Bearcat behind the dish. Nice pitch here in the 3-1. Changeup off the plate. 82 on the gun, and now from 3-0, it is now a full count from Ryan McCarroll, who can work out of the wind here. The offering, check swing here, put into play right to McCarroll. He's got time to throw. The throw's a little high, and with a stretch, McGregor's able to make the play. The Braves keep hitting. They find another one here, and find a way to reach as well on an error. Right now, though, it remains 2-2 after 3 from Doran Park. Top of the fourth inning getting underway here at Doran Park. About approach an hour into today's action here. Gavin Turley, 5-6-7 for Falmouth to lead off here against Ryan Fisher, who's out there for his fourth inning of work. First pitch swinging is Turley. Playing it on one hop is Zach Eblin at second, and he makes the play for the first out.
Eblin had to battle the sun there, coming from the third base side right into his eyes at second base. Immediately put his hand up to try and block it as he moved in to field that one, but one hopper right at him. He'll take it.
It's about to sound like I guess I just played every inning growing up, or rather every position, but those middle infield gloves, I have one myself, the eye web, where it's meant for you to kind of shield the sun, and it's almost like, as you said, he had to do that there. Eze gets jammed and pops one over our heads here, just foul. Michael Eze had himself a double in his first go-around, was able to move Gavin Turley along, and then Nate Humphreys walked to load the bases for the Doors. Check swing here at the plate, called for a strike by J.C. Fernandez, and it's quickly no balls and 2 strikes.
Got a battle.
Eze came in to score on that pass ball off of Bodine. That won't happen here, though. He comes up empty on that cut. Slider low and away. Ryan Fisher, another strikeout.
That's been the theme for Eze early in his return to the Doors lineup. It's either been really good swing and extra base hit, or a hit in general, or a strikeout, and that time he doesn't come up with it.
4 punch-outs for Fisher in the youth of this ball game here. He comes set there on the mound against Nate Humphreys, the 7-man in the order here for Falmouth. Has to step out of the way there on that pitch coming in at him there. That's a slider to begin the at-bat. Humphreys, as we mentioned, walked on 4 pitches here. Hasn't seen a strike yet. Been 5 pitches, 5 balls. This swinging foul ball over the dugout of the Braves, though, is that first strike he's had himself an account of all day long.
And you can't get much more of a strike than that. Fastball, middle. He was a little late on it. But if you give him another one of those, he might match Garrett Michelle's homer from the second.
The 1-1 to Humphreys. Pulling the string. It's off the plate. Good take and good leave by Humphreys. Makes it 2-1. Nate in there from that left side out of Dallas Baptist. Really bends the knees in there from the left side.
He does. I've asked him about his stance. He said it was just something he wanted to do to simplify everything. Take that unneeded movement out of it.
That movement here on this pitch results in another foul ball over our heads here and behind the press box here at Doran Park. Quickly 2 balls and 2 strikes. Nate, again, with that low stance, has the barrel facing parallel to the ground. Again, doesn't move a whole lot there over his shoulder. Fastball here runs off the plate and away. 91 on the gun from Fisher. And it's a full count here to Nate Humphreys, who has walked more than a lot of guys have over the stretch of a 2-game outing. Had a ton of them yesterday and already won today. Fisher trying to avoid that here. Humphreys lines one out into left the other way. Giving chase is Josh Kuroda. Grauer, he battles the sun as well and makes the play in front of the wall. The Doors go down 1-2-3 in order. So far, that's 5 consecutive down after some craziness in that second inning. Ryan Fisher might be settling in. Still 2-2 from Doran Park. Bottom 4 getting ready to go here with Ryan McCarroll back out there for another inning of work. Bryce Eblin will lead things off here in that fourth inning. Eblin had himself a base hit, came to score the first of two so far for the Bourne Braves. It was done on a Cam Foster RBI single. He awaits in the hole this inning against McCarroll. Glove over his head in the full wind. Eblin first pitch swinging, a towering drive out to right. Barry Walsh right on the track, though, will make the play. That one got up in the atmosphere, but comes down a foot or so in front of the wall for the first out.
He was looking for that corner. It's not very far down that line, especially if you go right for the foul pole. Eblin tried to do it, but Walsh able to keep that one from getting out.
Tried to mimic his teammate Garrett Michelle. That's pretty much how his baseball looked off the bat when we saw that home run he hit to tie us up here at 2. First pitch here into Harrelson, misses up for a ball here. McCarroll showing off that slider there, using it a pretty decent amount here, more often than I feel like I remember seeing him in his starts. It's a nice pitch to complement that fastball and the changeup he goes to. That one was the fastball low and in, makes it 2-0.
He hasn't had the changeup as well today, and I think that's been a big reason for using the slider more, because he's not getting those swings and misses that he normally has been.
He gets one there, though, and it's on that changeup, low in the zone, and that one got a piece of Walker Yannick. He just continues to get beat back there behind the plate. I'm sure that's something that he didn't miss in all those outings at third base, was that the foul ball is ricocheting off areas down there where, like, he doesn't have the padding.
Yeah, it's not fun, I'm sure, but he looks like he'll be okay. He's a tough guy back there.
That he is. But nonetheless, Gage Harrelson in there from that left side. Swinging strikeout and a 1-2 count for him for the first out of the second inning that later again saw two Bourne Brave runs come across to tie us up. The 2-1 here. Fastball fouls it straight back into the netting. And a nice recovery here by Ryan McCarroll makes it 2 balls and 2 strikes. This Bourne Braves team has really come back down to earth. Just 5 wins in the team's last 13 games. It's a chopper here. Going foul along the first base line. The last time the Doors saw them, there was certainly, not that today's any different, there's a lot at stake, but because of this recent dip by this Bourne Braves team, the Doors not only passed Bourne, but have gained a little bit of separation and can stretch that here to larger than what it is now. 3 points today. You win today, you're up 5 with 3 to go. McCarroll gets a sign from Yannick. Into the wind. The offering just missed. That's a really good slider. The bottom corner in towards the lefty, and Harrelson didn't miss by much, and the count's now full.
That's really close pitch. Carroll's got to lock back in here.
That was a slider. What does he go to here? The 3-2. Sped him up with the fastball, and Harrelson fouls it off, slicing away out of play.
We talked to Jacob Smith yesterday about that type of spot. When you have a 2-2 pitch that's really close, you think as a pitcher, it's strike 3, and then you have to bounce back for 3-2. He said it can really change the dynamic of an at-bat. See if McCarroll can bounce through.
The 3-2 from McCarroll, waving a miss. Ryan McCarroll reached back for that one. Went with another fastball, 2 middle ones. The first one was fouled off. That time he gets the cut and a miss for just his second strikeout today, and both of them are by Gage Harrelson.
The difference between that fastball change look from him is not that much in the velocity department, but it's quite a bit in the movement department. He's got really good carry on that fastball through the zone.
First pitch to Cam Foster, misses off the plate and away to the tall third baseman for the Bourne Braves today. Cam responsible for run number 1 of this ball game for the Braves. Thought about swinging on this one, a check down to first. Anthony Letizio says he did not go. And it's a hitter-friendly opportunity here, 2-0 with that fastball missing up and in.
Foster could have been run number 2 for the Braves, but he was picked off first base before the home run.
He gets on one here and gives it a good ride out to right center. Nate Humphries has a step on it. He makes the play in the right center field gap. 2 balls put in play and a strikeout sandwiched in between. Result in a 1-2-3 inning from Ryan McCarroll. He's rolling right now for the Doors. It's still 2-2 from Doran Park. Top of the 5th inning. Ready for more baseball here. 2 runs aside, all of them in the 2nd inning. A lot of 2s in that part of our score sheet here, but nonetheless, the final regular season meeting between the Bourne Braves and the Falmouth Commodores. Both teams have won on each other's turf as well as their own and have tied as well. All the marbles come down to this contest right here at Doran Park. First pitch to Barry Walsh to lead us off here. 8-9-1 for Falmouth. It's a fastball low and away, taken for a strike for tonight's right fielder. Walsh, a swinging strikeout victim last time up. Takes another one here from Fisher, who's back out there for another inning of work. He had a mound visit in that 3rd inning, but since then came out for the 4th and dominated and is back out there again in a groove. Is the tall righty on the mound. The 0-2 to Walsh. There all day. Didn't even swing the bat, did Walsh. Fastball outer 3rd for strikeout number 5.
Fisher's really locked himself in, and he did so against this part of the order. When the bases were loaded, there was nobody out. He got a strikeout, an RBI ground out, and then another strikeout. The only reason the second run came in to score was on the pass ball. Yes, he gave up the hit to Bazzana after that, but everybody gives up hits to Travis Bazzana. He's been really, really good and continuing to pound the zone.
Could argue that if it didn't cross up Bodine, I mean, certainly that the Braves would be in front. Because it wasn't a typical pass ball that you would normally maybe see.
Yeah, hit him right in the chest protector.
Stung him up a little bit, too. Was slow to get that ball. Eze came in standing up. He could have crawled to home plate. He would have been in there.
And he came in with a delayed jump, too. It was wait for it, and then you had the ball yelling, yes, 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 and came across.
Fastball low and away, called for a strike against the lefty and Sean Darnell. Now he gives him a hook on the outer 3rd. That's a real good pitch for strike number 2.
He's painting. Everything that he wants is going exactly where he wants it over these last couple innings.
Working out of the stretch with nobody on. The offering is a slow ground ball to Vastine at short. On the run on the infield grass, a perfect throw across the diamond to retire Darnell.
Real nice play on the charge. Darnell doing a nice job to hit that ball. Really good pitch selection from Fisher. He went to a backdoor slider the pitch before, so he throws it again just a little bit further out. Darnell chases it, and all he can do is roll it to short.
Caleb Hall now from the right side trying to do something here with 2 away quickly. He sends one the other way, and it's going to hang up for Pete Ciafretta, making the play out there and right. And at that, he's going to pick up his teammate's hat in center. Gage Harrelson lost it there on his run in. Falmouth goes 1-2-3 again. Don't look now, but that's 8 straight doors sent down in order. Another 0 put up consecutively by Ryan Fisher. It's still 2-2 with the Bourne Brave bats coming up in the bottom half of the 5th.
Now batting, the first baseman from Virginia Tech.
The Hokie that tied this ball game up is due up to lead off here in the bottom of the 5th inning. That's Garrett Michelle with that long ball, his 4th on the summer. Tied us up at 2 in the bottom half of inning number 2. And after he hit that long ball, as he is in front of this one, foul, heads up to the Bourne Brave first base coach. Nearly some friendly fire there. After that home run, you had a base hit single from Pete Ciafretta. And then you had Vaston reach on an error. It could have gotten really chaotic. But defensively, the Doors recovered with Walker Yannick throwing a runner out.
Michelle's been a lot of all or nothing this summer, and that's the thing that you want him to work on. He's young. He was a freshman this year, freshman All-American by Rawlings at Virginia Tech, but he's got more strikeouts than anybody else in this Cape League on the summer. McCarroll looking to take advantage.
McCarroll had nothing in two, shows him the fastball way upstairs. A good leave there. You mentioned his incredible year as a freshman this year, 339 in Blacksburg, 11 home runs, 45 driven in. As he fouls again, another pitch here off. That's the changeup down and away, and staying alive. But did real well for the Hokies. But as you mentioned, 66 strikeouts this season in his rookie campaign. On the verge of one possibly here from Ryan McCarroll. The offering slows him down with the slider. It gets out of play, sent straight back.
He worked good at batting that last one before hammering that payoff pitch out into the bullpen of the Commodores down that right field line. This time he's again battling with McCarroll.
Michelle had been 0 for his last 10 prior to that home run we just saw there over the course of his last 4 ball games. Leaves one inside there from McCarroll. On that fastball in, and it's 2-2. McCarroll works quickly there on the mound. Into his motion now. Drops the changeup, and again it's fouled off. Sent towards the on-deck circle of the Falmouth Commodores here. Number 19 in white putting up a good fight here against number 31 in black on the mound here for the Falmouth Commodores. The sign accepted, the motion on its way. Fastball just off the plate. In that outer third towards that right-handed batter's box, and Michelle, the lefty, keeps fighting. It was 0-2. Now the count is full. Big deep breath from Ryan McCarroll. The 3-2 offering, wave and a miss. Got the strikeout there on an elevated heater. And that works for strikeout number 3 and out number 1 here for Ryan McCarroll.
It's a perfect spot. Fastball up and away, but you find the edge of the zone, forces Michelle to swing at it, comes up empty.
Pete Giuffreda, the next man to go out of Rutgers, getting ready for his senior campaign. Standing in there from that left side, leaves one off the plate upstairs. The fastball from McCarroll stayed up there.
Fred, a couple of really good years at Lafayette. First team All-Patriot League this year.
Going to the changeup. It's low and down. A good pick there from Walker Yannick behind the plate.
He was at Lafayette with Commodores MLB liaison Tommy Merlo. The Leopards don't have a grad program, so he's moving on to Rutgers to finish off his eligibility.
Nice pitch there on the slider, getting it over the heart of the plate. Taking the whole way, though, was Giuffreda in there from that left side. The 2-1 pitch now. Fastball outer third. Strike 2 called from J.C. Fernandez. And the Doors right-hander working along nicely here, trying to go through the 5th pretty convincingly here. He accepts the sign into his motion. The pitch called third strike. Another one there picked up for McCarroll. Back-to-back punch-outs, and he's got 4 now in this ball game.
Another good pitch, good sequencing between McCarroll and Walker Yannick making the calls. They're working really well together, and they seem to have synced up in a very similar way that Bodine synced up with Fisher on the other side as we've gotten through this game.
Now that brings in Jonathan Vastine at the top of the order. The lefty comes up empty on that cut. Reached on an error last time. Credited against Tyler McGregor there. Overall 0 for 2 today is Vastine. Has made some plays at shortstop as well, though, defensively. On the ground here, and it gets through along the right side of the infield. He pulled one into right. It got by Tyler McGregor, and it's a 2-out hit. Already 6 of them now for Bourne. And a 2-out knock extends the inning to Josh Kuroda-Grauer.
Now batting, the left fielder from Rutgers University.
We'll see if Vastine tries to test Walker Yannick again, like he did last time. Vastine, towards the top of the Cape League in stolen bases, entered today, tied for 4th. He was 13 of 14 entering today. That's just the second time he's been caught, and the first time in over a month.
It's funny, though, because he only stole 5 this year at school.
It's just the way this Bourne team is. They're all going to run.
Josh Kuroda-Grauer also reached on an error in this ballgame. There's been 2 against Falmouth here today. Josh in front of this one here. He pulls that one foul. Got an up and in slider there. Just had the barrel out in front. Hooks one foul, and it's quickly 0-2. Ryan McCarroll trying to avoid that 2-out hit that he just gave up there to try to put away a nice solid effort of 5-inning baseball here aside from the second inning. But he's recovered real well here. McCarroll from the stretch. He wants to check on Vastine. The pickoff move not in time, with McGregor still holding tabs to Jonathan Vastine there. They call him JKG, Josh Kuroda Grauer. Good take from him there. Off the plate there on that slider. That's what their lineup card shows, at least. We have to do the translating for our lineup purposes here. The 1-2 from McCarroll. Swing and a miss. Gets off the catcher, Walker Yannick. He will have to throw this one down, despite Kuroda Grauer not even offering. I think he thought he foul-tipped this ball. J.C. Fernandez says no, he did not. And now, conversation being had behind the plate. J.C. Fernandez with the Bourne Braves here, and there will be a conversation in on the infield.
I'll be honest, I thought he tipped it, but it also could have just been the sound of the ball hitting Walker Yannick's chest protector that could have made that sound as well. J.C. Fernandez seems pretty sure that he didn't tip that ball. You very rarely see umpires call those guys out of the dugout, and they won't.
And they still rule him out. Scott Landers jumping out of that dugout. He wants to have a conversation here with Fernandez. It's tough to overturn that, obviously, but then the question raises, with how good defensively Walker Yannick's been, I mean, you don't typically see him just whiff on a pitch there to not catch it on a swing and miss. And that could be what the conversation's being had. Nonetheless, no replay, no none of that here in the Cape League. It's a swinging strikeout to end the inning here, and 3 of them in that inning to get out of it. 5 on the day through 5 for Ryan McCarroll. And what turned into be a really good start, should that be the end of his night? It's 2-2 going on to the 6th when we return. Zach Serdenik takes the headset the rest of the way from Doran Park.
Top of the 6th, we're even at 2. Doors and Braves from Doran Park. Zach Serdenik alongside Matt Venezia, Destiny Sanchez, and Laura Schroeder on the graphics for us tonight. We're glad you joined us. It's been a fun one so far. We're going to keep it right along. Travis Bazzana steps in, first pitch swinging, slices it foul, and out of play, it's 0-1. Ryan Fisher out for a 6th inning of work. He was struggling early. Doors getting the 2 runs in the 2nd, but then really settled in since. He's retired 8 straight Commodores. Slider outside, evens it up 1-1 to the Oregon State Beaver in Bazzana. He's the lone Commodore that's reached both times, walked in the 1st, singled in the 3rd. And now ahead, 2-1, takes another off-speed pitch low and outside. The righty and Fisher working third base side of the rubber. Rocks himself set at the belt, works exclusively from the stretch. 2-1, heater by him. They even it up at 2-2. Sun continuing to set. Shadows coming across from the school building at Upper Cape Tech. From the third base side across. 2-2, breaking ball just off the outer part of the plate. Bazzana's worked it full. Home plate is in shadows. The pitcher's mound illuminated in a little bit of sunlight peeking through. 3-2 breaking ball. Scooped into center field. That's going to drop for a base hit. Bazzana flips one out. Picks up hit number 2.
He keeps it rolling. Travis Bazzana has been really, really good for Falmouth this summer, as we've all talked about there. But 3-2 pitch, got a breaking ball over the middle, and it was down in the zone. It's not a bad pitch from Ryan Fisher. He's been settling in nicely, and as you mentioned, ends that streak of 8 consecutive doors being retired.
Now Walker Yannick will greet him. He's had Yannick's number to this point. Fly out and a pop out. Check back on Bazzana. He's in standing up. Bazzana was caught stealing, trying to get to second. In the top of the third, that retired the side. Kind of a strike him out, throw him out, double play. Fastball snapped in below the knees of Yannick. It's 1-0. Righty-righty matchup. 5 righties, 4 lefties in the lineup for Falmouth tonight against the right-handed arm in Ryan Fisher. Lefty Zach Grace was up and throwing earlier, still getting loose. Yannick, high chopper to second. Eblin fields it on a hop behind him. The flip over to first is not in time. Yannick beats out the relay from Vastine. The fielder's choice changes the base runners and keeps the situation the same for McGregor with 1 out.
Yeah, that one ate up Vastine.
Now batting, the first baseman,
Rather Eblin there as he was moving over to his right to field that on his backhand side, but I think he just overran the baseball a little bit, and because of that, he's kind of reaching across his body to then release the baseball across to Vastine on the flip. Yannick was beating it out of the bases too, and he's going to get in there to break up that fielder's choice.
First pitch, slider chopped foul to Tyler McGregor. He's got a fly out and a strikeout in his 2 ABs against Fisher. Yannick, 7 stolen bags on the summer for Falmouth. He's got a big lead. They'll check on him. Throw gets away, not far enough, and Yannick took a couple of steps, but he'll hold up at first base.
Yeah, he kind of got caught there for a second. If that's a better throw, he may have been picked off there. He kind of was leaning to his right when that pickoff was initiated by Fisher.
Lights have just come on here at Doran Park. Blue skies, 71 degrees as the sun begins to set. Fastball cut on and missed by McGregor. It's 0-2. Big lefty out of Northeastern. Having a good summer, 288 entering tonight. 26 hits. Fisher with a look over to first. Right leg kick. 0-2 fastball outside. McGregor lays off it. He'll get to see another.
Zach, you mentioned his average is bolstering. A couple of days ago, it was down to 250, and the reason it jumped so much is because of what he did against Katuitt. Had that near cycle effort. Was a home run away from it in that multi-hit game.
1-2. Hit softly out to center. Long run for Harrelson. It drops in front of him. Tyler McGregor finds himself a single, and the door is threatening in the top of the 6th.
Didn't get all that pitch. Again, it's a good pitch from Fisher. Slider down over the middle of the plate, but it's down. It's a tough pitch, but for a lefty, it comes back in towards him so he can work with that barrel and just kind of getting a short swing there. And got a lot of hang time, but didn't go all that far. And that's why it bloops down in there to left center. The door's working some magic here with only 1 out.
Here comes Gavin Turley. He singled and scored in the 2nd. Has a man in scoring position with 1 away in the 6th. First pitch slider catches the inside corner. It's 0-1.
That's how you have to work against Gavin Turley, the way he's been seeing the baseball. A slider that is a ball the entire way until he just barely gets a piece there on that front side.
Fastball downstairs makes it 1-1. Turley takes a deep breath before stepping back in. Slightly open stance from the right side. Circles the bat around as he awaits the delivery from Fisher. 1-1. Fastball catches the outside corner at the knees. Makes it 1-2. Really good frame from Bodine. Catch that one towards the middle of the zone. That pitch was close, but the frame made it look a lot better than it was.
Trackman didn't like it, and neither did Gavin Turley, but there's a reason they give you 3 strikes.
1-2 is hit high and deep out to left. Turley takes a second to admire it. That ball is way out of here. He didn't like strike 1. He didn't like strike 2. But he liked that one in the zone and didn't miss it. Doors in front, 5-2.
Like I said, there's a reason they give you 3. And that pitch is the same pitch he got on strike 1. It's that slider that's a ball the whole way and then just barely comes in. Fisher hits his spot here, no doubt. But Gavin Turley did his homework on what he learned previously in the at-bat, and he picks up RBIs 13, 14, and 15 on his 3rd long ball of the year. A no doubter to left, and it's all doors.
Michael Eze trying to keep it going against Fisher. First pitch swinging, pops it up. Bodine should have room behind home plate. Sheds the mask, makes the play. Quick bounce back out for Fisher. Second man of the inning retired.
Well, just trying to be aggressive. How could he not be after getting all the juice that Gavin Turley just gave you there with that big home run swing? Again, slider low and in. Just starting off, he's hitting that spot. And that time, it's a result you're looking for. Getting the bats to be underneath it like that and send it a mile into the air. And it's playable for Bodine, and he puts it in his back pocket to respond.
Now Nate Humphreys digs in. First pitch swinging for him as well. Slices it foul towards the light pole down the left field line. It's 0-1. Lights just on now here at Doran Park.
That's a fastball middle. It was a late swing, foul, and Humphreys, some words there after that. He really thought he should have gotten that one.
Slider low and in to even it up. 1 ball and 1 strike.
And part of the reason for that, too, is you expect to only see a couple of good hittable pitches. And even if it's 0-0, that's one you could certainly do damage with.
Goes back to the slider again. Humphrey is able to hold back the check swing. He's ahead in the count 2-1. Walked in the second. Flew out to Kuroda Grauer in the fourth. 2-1 swing and hit hard on the ground and past the diving Eblin out into right field. First hit of the game for Humphreys. He's on for the second time. And the Falmouth inning's not done yet.
No, it's not. And Ryan Fisher, again, had settled in real nicely, but the Doors have found him here in the third time through the order, and that's trouble when you leave a starter in for third sets of at-bats because guys do homework, and they learn, just like we saw from Gavin Turley there. And now Nate Humphreys here, too. That's a hard-hit baseball. 98 off the bat. Pull side into right field on the ground. Second base hole to extend the inning.
Barry Walsh takes the called strike at the knees. It's 0-1. Walsh 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts. Trying to change that. Had the walk-off single yesterday. Takes the fastball out. A ball on the strike. Right-handed outfielder out of Boston College. Having a good start to the summer with Falmouth. Hits one on the ground. Takes a weird hop off the top of the glove of Eblin. It hit a lip and just looked like it jumped off a ramp mat.
Yeah, we've seen some crazy hops that have eaten up infielders. That one could certainly be up there for the craziest, and this kind of chaotic inning for the Braves continues, but it will not continue any longer with Ryan Fisher on the mound as Scott Landers is going to make that move.
It goes as a hit for Barry Walsh. He finds himself aboard, 2 on with 2 away. Already 3 in on the homer from Gavin Turley. 5-2 Doors, new arm coming to the bump for the Braves on the other side of the break. Tristan Levesque comes to the mound to take over for Ryan Fisher. Lefty out of Rhode Island trying to pick up the final out at the top of the 6th. 2 doors aboard, 3 already in on the inning. Fastball to start off Sean Darnell is a called strike.
Good inning, good season at Rhode Island this year. Was in that rotation on the weekend. 101 strikeouts to 19 walks in 15 starts this year. Good numbers for the lefty, and he's going to try to strand these base runners.
Fastball bounced in. Good backhand pick by Bodine to keep it in front. Ball and a strike. Darnell batting from the left side, so lefty-lefty matchup in the box right now. Caleb Hall hits from the right side. He's on deck. Darnell trying to get it to him and flip the lineup again. Another fastball low. It's 2-1. It was a good outing overall for Fisher, but just got hurt in this top of the 6th. 5 2/3 innings pitched, 8 hits, 5 runs as of now, but responsible for the 2 on base, pair of walks, and 5 strikeouts. 2-1 inside. It's a hitter's count, 3-1 now. Humphreys is at second. Walsh at first. Pair of singles. Walsh had that soft one, the ground ball that took a ridiculous hop over the head of Bryce Eblin, the second baseman. The 3-1. Just catches the zone at the knees, and it's a full count pitch awaiting Sean Darnell. Runners will be on the move for the Doors, trying to add to this 3-run advantage in the top of the 6th. In a pivotal game for playoff positioning in the West Division coming down the stretch. Left leg kick, the 3-2. Ground ball right side. Eblin will field it in shallow right field. Fires to retire Darnell for out number 3, but Gavin Turley plays long ball. Hits his 3rd of the summer. Makes it 5-2 Falmouth, headed to the bottom of the 6th on the Commodores Baseball Network. Gavin Turley's 3-run homer in the top of the 6th, the difference as we head to the bottom half. 5-2 Falmouth in front from Doran Park. 4 other games across the Cape League tonight. Destiny Sanchez has everything you need to know about those ones.
Thanks, Zach. The YD Red Sox defeated the Brewster Whitecaps 9-6. The Chatham Anglers are currently shutting out the Harwich Mariners 11-0 in the top of the 7th. The Orleans Firebirds are ahead of the Hyannis Harbor Hawks 6-0 in the top of the 6th. And the Katuitt Kettleers lead the Wareham Gatemen 3-2 in the top of the 5th.
Thank you, Destiny. A couple of interesting scores there, Matt. First off, that Chatham game, they are putting it on Harwich, a team that really struggled throughout the year, but trying to play some good baseball over the last few games. And then that game at McKeon Park is the one that matters the most to Falmouth. Orleans is up. Falmouth wins tonight. They are still only 3 games to play, but they could go into tomorrow's matchup with Hyannis only 2 games out of second place.
It's a much tougher kind of scenario, but yes, it certainly is still alive, and a win with a Hyannis loss tonight would set up an opportunity head-to-head to then really keep an eye on that second spot in this division, something that I didn't expect to say this season when we won 3 games through the first 15.
Not at all, but Falmouth does not hold the tiebreaker with Hyannis, so they would have to pass the Harbor Hawks, which means the Doors winning out and the Harbor Hawks losing out. It's unlikely, but it's still possible. New arm for Falmouth is Garrett Coe. He'll step in to face 3, 4, 5 in this Bourne order. That means Derek Bender stepping in, takes the first pitch. Fastball just off the plate. It's 1-0. Lefty from the wine. Bender pops up a fastball. It's 1-1.
Yeah, good to see Garrett Cohen there. Obviously an all-star this year for Falmouth. Just a 1.08 ERA for the Doors through now his 9th appearance, getting ready for it. But he's been solid. Really, really good this summer for the Doors as that kind of seventh or eighth inning guy before Joey Ryan.
Fastball low, gets a swing and a miss. It's 1-2. Slider off the end of the bat out to left. Early's got it for out number 1.
Now pitching for Falmouth.
Kind of a smooth swing there on that changeup out and away. But Garrett Coe, that's what he does. I mean, he's going to go with the fastball. It's not that hard, but he changes it up and he really slows it down. That one's at 78. Out and away, all you can do is if you're out in front of it, you kind of just like one-hand finish and extend there. And that's what you saw there from Bender. And it is quickly recorded away by Gavin Turley.
Change up above the letters to start off Caden Bodine, the switch hitting catcher, for the first time batting from the right side against the Southpaw and Co. Goes fastball just up. 2 balls, no strikes to Bodine. Co works extremely quickly, gets the ball right back into the motion. Misses low with the changeup. 3-0 to the Braves catcher. The wind and the 3-0 from Co. Called strike. Keeps it alive. Bodine, 385 on the summer. Had a really good year at Coastal Carolina. Fouls back the 3-1. Co's battled it back full.
Yes, he has. He's done a good job fighting back into the count a little bit.
The payoff pitch. Misses just low and in. And Bodine had to wait a couple of pitches and battle for it, but he will work that walk. 1 out base runner for Bourne, trying to get the runs right back like they did in that second inning.
Well, Zach, we see a walk there. Something that Garrett Coe hasn't really done a whole lot this summer is walk batters. Outside of his last appearance against Brewster, had 3 walks in the 3 innings there. Prior to that, just 5 on the summer through his 16 innings he has pitched this year.
Eblin swinging on the first pitch, pops it up left side of the infield as they tracks it back into shallow left for out number 2.
Well, that's a good start there after that walk. Now you have 2 outs. Goes fastball, top of the zone. You got to get up for it. I mean, it's only 86. It's not the hardest fastball in the world. But nonetheless, it is quicker than that changeup, a pitch you got to anticipate. And just like that, Garrett Coe gets a good result.
Another left-handed hitter up in Gage Harrelson. He squared the bunt, pulled back on a first pitch fastball just off the plate. It's 1-0. Speedy outfielder out of Texas Tech. Circles that bat over the left shoulder. Squares again, gets it down, but it's right at Garrett Coe. He'll spin and throw it over to McGregor for out number 3. Bourne gets a 1-out walk, but nothing more in the bottom of the 6th. Falmouth trying to add to a 3-run lead in the 7th. When we come back, this is your home for Falmouth Commodores baseball. Top of the 7th from Doran Park. Back to the mound is Levesque. Fires just below the knees to start off Caleb Hall. Top of the order for the Doors as the sun starts to set here in Bourne. Beautiful sky on this Sunday night. Another fastball low. You can hear the grunts from Levesque as he's trying to get everything he can into that. And he's thrown consistently fastballs since entering. Ended up getting Sean Darnell to ground out, get out of a 2 runners on with 2 out jam. The top of the 6th, and Caleb Hall ropes one into left. Hard hit line drive, 103 off his bat, and he ends up at first base with a leadoff single.
That's the first hit of the day for Caleb Hall.
Now batting.
As you mentioned, Zach just got all over that one. Fastball just low of middle, and right into his swing path there from the righty. Sharp line drive in for a base hit.
Now Travis Bazzana. He's reached all 3 times, a walk, a pair of hits. The Doors' second baseman. Called strike on the fastball. Lefty-lefty, the matchup between Bazzana and Levesque. Infield playing him to pull slightly, especially Eblin at second. Check over on Caleb Hall. It's back in standing up. Bazzana continuing to show off why many believe he could be a top 10 pick in next year's draft. And in that conversation at number 1, according to some outlets. Off speed, the first one we've seen from Levesque. Runs inside on Bazzana, makes it 1-1.
Yeah, he's been swinging such a good bat. Had a great year at school this year. We all know that. Continuing it here this summer with the Doors.
Couple looks over to first from Levesque. The 1-1 fastball sliced foul towards the parking lot. Down that left field line. It's 1-2.
Yeah, Bazzana behind in the count. Adjusted his batting gloves facing us, Zach. You can see him noticeably choke up on that bat. Trying to protect here.
Angles that bat downward, just trying to keep his posture right as he bends the knees in the box. Hits one high out to center, but not too deep. Harrelson back a couple of steps, camping under. Makes the play for out number 1.
Hey, Travis just getting underneath that changeup there. Not much to it, but just puts one out into center, you know, with the way he is. Always vocal about his at-bats. Gets underneath that one. We'll try to make some adjustments for the next time he comes in. But still, that's the first time he's been retired today. Had reached first 3 times with a walk to lead off the ball game, and then 2 base hits after that.
Now Walker Yannick steps up. 0 for 3 so far. Takes fastball low at 90. It's 1-0. Did score a run after that fielder's choice in the 6th. Came around to score on the 3-run homer from Gavin Turley. Levesque rocks himself set at the bell. A couple looks to Caleb Hall, who's being held on by Michelle. Fastball popped up. Right side of the infield. Eblin's got it for out number 2.
A couple of tough ABs for Walker Yannick today. A lot of pitches just getting underneath them, but that's okay. With the way he's been swinging the bat, I mean, you can't maintain all of it, you know, every single day you're out here. And veterans like him and guys that understand what it takes to be good hitters against collegiate hitters, you know, you just find a way to go back there and learn from it. But a couple of pop-outs today, and that fielder's choice ground ball out.
Tyler McGregor, first pitch swinging on the ground. Eblin moving to his right. He stumbles, and he's not going to get anybody. Wait and see what they rule it. He was playing in the outfield grass. He came onto the infield dirt, and he slipped, and it's an infield single for Tyler McGregor.
I guess maybe because of the positioning of maybe where he started fielding the ball. I'm not sure, Zach, but nonetheless, Eblin coming in, it's relatively routine and just maybe got ate up on the skirt there of the infield dirt going into the grass in shallow right. Nonetheless, they call it a base hit for McGregor.
Now Gavin Turley up again. Takes the fastball for a called strike. Start off the at-bat from Levesque. He hammered a slider on the front door, 105 off his bat. Out to deep left field for his 3rd homer of the summer. That was back in the 6th. Now trying to bring in some more in the 7th. Got a fastball up. Popped it foul and out of play down the first base line. No balls, 2 strikes to the Oregon State Beaver from the right side. Hall stands at second, McGregor at first. 5-2 Doors in the top of the 7th. Gavin Turley waves that bat around. Levesque with a deep breath. Lifts the leg, 0-2. Misses down with the changeup. Trying to get Turley to chase, but he lays off it. Bodine giving the signs to his pitcher on the mound. Hall with a walking lead at second. No one holding him on. Couple looks back at him. The 1-2. Breaking ball, hit down the line. Fair ball into left field. Hall comes around and he'll score. McGregor hustling around third. He's being waved around as it takes a bounce off the wall. Turley headed into third. He's got a stand-up 2 RBI triple.
Got out ahead of that breaking ball over the plate there. Gavin Turley, we saw what he did with it last time he was up. This one in a better location, but nonetheless still got the barrel in front of it to pull it down the third base line. And you said it, it kind of took some weird hops for Kuroda Grauer out there and left. Wasn't really a question if McGregor was going to score, but the fact of Turley to third base standing up is because of those weird hops out there and left, and he drives in another run.
Michael Eze with a high chopper to Eblin at second. Fields it on the back. Flips over to first to retire him, but 2 more come across. Gavin Turley with 5 ribbies. 3 hits to his name as we stretch from Doran Park. 7-2, Doors in front on the Commodores Radio Network. Garrett Coe headed back out for a second inning of work. He had a 3-run advantage when he first took them out. Now he's got a 5-run advantage. 7-2 our score between Falmouth and Bourne. And we have a defensive substitution. And making his debut out of Pittsburgh State is Cade Clemens in at third base, replacing Sean Darnell. Cam Foster swings through a changeup. It's 0-1. And Coe right back onto the rubber. Big, tall lefty. Works from the windup, third base side. Goes right back off speed. Gets another swing and a miss. No balls, 2 strikes. Foster steps back in. We're going warp speed in this at-bat. The 0-2. Fastball upstairs. 1-2 now.
They didn't miss by much.
Coe's got the glove ready to go. He'll shake Yannick once and work himself in. Another fastball stays above the letters. 2-2 to Foster. Infield playing him to pull. Shaded up the middle is Pizzana, and Eze playing towards the third base side. Ground ball right to Eze in the shift. Couple of steps, throw across the diamond. Retires Cam Foster for out number 1. Garrett Coe is cruising right now after coming out of the bullpen. He had the 1-out walk that he issued to Caden Bodine in the 6th. Nothing else since. And now Garrett Michelle steps in from the left side. His home run back in the second inning. Tied up the game at 2. Comes up empty on the fastball. Start off the at-bat here in the 7th. Second AB was a strikeout against McCarroll. Fastball tipped into the glove. 0-2. McCarroll's in line for the win right now. 5 innings for him, just 2 runs given up, 5 strikeouts. The 0-2 from Coe. Swing and a miss. 3 pitches and dispatches of Garrett Michelle. 2 up, 2 down. And a good start to the 7th inning for Garrett Coe.
That's a really good pitch there from Garrett Coe. Just goes with the fastball, and 89. That's probably the hottest we've seen it from Coe all summer long. And reared back there, the big tall lefty. And as you mentioned, dispatched him.
Now pinch hitter Sam Peterson out of Iowa getting ready to go. First team All Big Ten this season for the Hawkeyes. 257 average on the summer for the Braves. He's got that black Iowa helmet on it with a whole lot of Hawkeye stickers, Matt. Kind of peppering the helmet, similar to what you see in like an Ohio State football helmet.
Yeah, a lot of that you see, like, you know, character-wise or maybe through development, guys earning
First pitch fastball upstairs.
Earning those stickers and recognition from their coaches or their teammates. Kind of shows the leaders of the group. And from all those stickers, Peterson's one of them.
Swing and a miss. Goes off speed, and out in front is Peterson. A ball and a strike. 319 for the Hawkeyes this year. Slices of fastball foul. Sophomore year. Native of Huxley, Iowa. Staying home to play in the Big Ten. A good season this year for Iowa. Making a regional. Freshman phenom Brody Brecht out there. Peterson stays with a breaking ball. Scoops it into center field. 2 out, 2 strike single. Keeps it alive.
That's a really, really good follow through there to stay with that pitch. That's a changeup that is not a fast pitch from Garrett Coe. And low and away from the righty. Peterson fresh off the bench. Cold all the way throughout, but he gets down there, stays with that one, and follows through and just carries that baseball into shallow left center for that 2 out knock.
Now Jonathan Vastine. First pitch swinging on the ground to Bazana. Fields it on a hop. Sidearm flip to McGregor to retire Vastine. The 2 out single, but nothing more for the Braves in the bottom of the 7th. 7-2 Falmouth as we head to the 8th from Doran Park. Tristan Levesque's evening is done after 1 1/3. We're into the top of the 8th. And the new arm for the Braves is Jack Sullivan out of UConn.
The UConn righty taking over here. Had himself a good year over there at UConn this year. 36 innings of work over there in the Big East. Started 7 games, struck out 28. Got beat by the long ball, though. 10 over the fence this year during school. But, you know, right now, I wouldn't say it's mop-up time, but you got to keep this where it is if you're Bourne.
7-2 the score, headed to the 8th. Nate Humphreys leads it off. Couple of defensive substitutions. New Contratus in to the game at second base for the Braves. And then Peterson stays in. First pitch swinging from Humphreys right back up the middle. Ground ball into center field. 1 pitch and a second hit on the evening for Nate Humphreys. The other substitution I was going to get to was that Peterson remained in the game out in right field for Pete Giuffreda. And now Barry Walsh steps up.
Now batting, the right
With
fielder
Cade
from
Clemens on deck getting ready for his first Commodores at bat. Barry Walsh had a ground ball single on the right side. The infield in his last AB. Now takes fastball low. Started off, it's 1-0. Humphreys at first, 19 stolen bags at Dallas Baptist. Already has a handful on the summer. He's going on this pitch. Walsh fouls it back. It's 1-1.
And we know Humphreys can run. Went on a pitch there. Looked like it was the fastball. Not the best one you want to go on, but good decision, though, at least by Walsh. Appears that the hit and run's on, trying to put a ball in play, get a man in motion. But Hump will have to go on back.
Humphreys with a big lead, being held on by Michelle. Sullivan, couple looks, and he'll check on him. Humphreys dives back in safely. Out of all the Commodores base stealers, Humphreys the guy that usually has the biggest lead right away. And he's right back to it. 4 steps and creeping. Sullivan comes set at the chest. Leg kick, Humphreys going again. Pitches low, Bodine's throw is behind and hits Humphreys in the back as he slides in safely with another stolen base.
Yeah, the Doors doing a little bit of that. You know, both these teams steal a ton. And right now, the Doors trying to put the game in motion a little bit, set up an opportunity. But Humphreys does it, and he does it a lot. Stole 19 of them this year at school. Shows you why right there.
Now Barry Walsh has a chance to bring in another Commodore. With Humphreys at second, nobody out in a 2-1 count. Bends the knees, wide stance from the right side. Sullivan standing tall on the mound. High leg kick, 2-1, fouled back to the screen. Swung hard enough, knocked his elbow guard off. I'll have to pick it up, put that back on before a 2-2 count.
You don't always see that often when you swing that hard and get the Velcro loose a little bit there.
Wind softly blowing out to left. Nothing compared to what we've seen over the last few days. 2-2 breaking ball. Walsh stays with it, skies it into right. First chance for Sam Peterson. Make the play. Humphreys doesn't want to test his arm, and he stays at second base with 1 out.
Yeah, it's a good idea not to do that, especially when you got a good bat. You know, now stepping in this pinch hit role here, you know, you get a good chance. There were good numbers this year from Cade Clemens, and you kind of want to see what he's about. Give him a chance here to bring in a run. It's been a long day for Clemens, though. We talked to them earlier. Again, we said it earlier on the broadcast. Flew out at 4 a.m. to get up here. It's been a long day, but nonetheless, stepping in for his debut here with Falmouth.
Humphreys going on the first pitch. It's a breaking ball to throw down. Won't get him. A good throw from Bodine, but a really good jump from Humphreys. He swiped second. Now he swipes third. And another run of insurance just 90 feet away for Falmouth, trying to add on the top of the 8th. Cade Clemens looking for his first knock, looking for his first ribby. Infield now in an 0-1 count. Another fastball snapped in. Another called strike. It's 0-2. Caleb Hall stands on deck. He's the top of the order. And they'll say that breaking ball was not a strike, so it's 1-1. My apologies. This breaking ball is a strike because of swing and a miss from Clemens. So now it's 1-2.
Went down fishing there, just comes up empty on that slide piece, lone away from the big righty in the box now.
Sullivan takes a deep breath as he comes set. The 1-2. Fastball spiked in. Good block by Bodine to keep it in front. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
That's a really good block because that ball, a lot of times you see these guys block, it comes right to them, but just down in between the legs. That time he had to play it on a hop and judge that with his glove for the redirect. Kept that in his glove in front of him.
Cade Clemens with a 2-2, and he'll lay off a slider. He'll get a 3-2. Sporting number 32, replacing that number that was previously worn by Ben King for the Doors. Clemens out of Pittsburgh State, the Gorillas at Pittsburgh State. Started his college career at Wichita State. 3-2, soft ground ball back up the middle. Infield was in. Clemens beats him. Picks up an RBI knock in his first AB as a Commodore.
Why not? The way the Doors have been swinging the bat of late, that was just certainly bound to happen. Cade Clemens on a little amount of sleep. It's been a long day. He hasn't even been to Falmouth yet. He just got off the plane and got off the ferry, and here he comes to Bourne to jump right into the action, but that's how you do it. Just takes one right up the middle there on an inside pitch.
Now Caleb Hall rolls over a slider on the first pitch. It's a tough play for Foster. The throw in the dirt, and a beautiful pick by Garrett Michelle to get Caleb Hall.
Hall trying to be aggressive. First pitch swing. And not the best throw at all from your big, tall third baseman and Cam Foster, but nonetheless, Garrett Michelle flashing the leather.
And now Travis Bazzana, 2 for 3 with a walk. The Doors All-Star steps on in, trying to add another run to the scoreboard. It's 8-2 Falmouth. Walking lead for Clemens at second, being held on by Vastine. First pitch, breaking ball, spins in for a called strike at the knees to Bazzana. Left-handed hitter against the righty in Sullivan. Walker Yannick on deck. Bazzana trying to keep the inning alive for him. 0-1 goes right back to the breaking ball. It stays outside. First base is open. Don't usually see too many people worked around in a summer league like this, but Bazzana's definitely got the bat. You got to be wary of it. The 1-1. Fastball elevates it, blows it by him at 87. Up the letters, makes it 1-2.
Bazzana may have just been expecting something else there. Kind of a delayed effort there to cut through that one.
Digs back in, widens the stand slightly with 2 strikes. Sullivan gets the sign from Bodine. Couple looks back to second. The 1-2. Breaking ball, high chopper towards first base. Michelle fields it on a hop. Takes it himself for out number 3. But Cade Clemens starts off his Commodores career with an RBI single. It's 8-2 Doors. Head to the bottom of the 8th on the Commodores Radio Network. Garrett Coe is going to have to face 2-3-4 in the bottom of the 8th. A 6-run lead for Falmouth that is all materialized over the last 3 innings. 3 runs in the top of the 6th, 2 in the top of the 7th, 1 in the top of the 8th. Doors hoping it'll count down to a Falmouth victory here in the 9th. First pitch fastball, touch off the plate, outside to Kuroda Grauer. Rutgers Scarlet Knight then takes inside. 2 fastballs, 2 close misses from Coe. 2 balls and no strikes. Southpaw right back into the motion. Big swing and a miss. Dropped a changeup off the table on 2-0. Gets himself back into the count. Doors playing Kuroda Grauer to pull, shaded towards the left side of the infield. 2-1 popped out of play. Back right over our heads. And it's 2-2. A break even. Fastball up above the neck area. Kuroda Grauer on the outer part of the plate. And go right back to it. The 3-2 is hit into the gap in left center. Long run for Turley to his left, and he'll make the play on the run for out number 1.
Elevated the changeup, and the problem with chasing a pitch that high that doesn't have a ton of velocity is it just doesn't go that far unless you really get all of it. And that one, even just a hair under 90 off the bat, but it gives enough time for Turley to cruise over to his left to get there for that first out.
Derek Bender, 1 for 3 today, takes a fastball. The letters for a called strike. He flew out to left field the last time he got to see Garrett Coe. He's hit every ball hard. Fastball up, 1-1. First 2 ABs, 105-mile-an-hour single and 103-mile-an-hour line out. 1-1 further up, and it's 2-1. Shot to clear, sporting that black helmet with the teal C and the teal brim of it from the box. Fouls back the fastball 2-2. His collegiate teammate Caden Bodine sporting the same thing in the on-deck circle. Both these guys getting their second plate appearances against Garrett Coe, who's in his 3rd inning of work. The 2-2. Pop foul out of play. Bender stays alive. Whole lot of elevated fastballs to Derek Bender in this at-bat from Coe. Couple of shakes against Yannick, and he'll go to the wind. 2-2. Goes the fastball again, but it's just a touch in. Bender's worked it full.
Coe trying to be really, really careful with this big bat.
Another 3-2. Strike 3 called. Change up on the outside edge. Bender has to make that turn back to the dugout. Second strikeout for Garrett Coe. 2 up, 2 down in the 8th.
Well, barring any crazy outcome the rest of the way, to put right now the league leader in average to a 1 for 4 day, that's pretty good, and especially for Coe, only uses 2 pitches in his arsenal.
Caden Bodine, first pitch swinging, ground ball single into right field. He picks up his first hit, and a 2-out base runner for the second straight inning coming by way of the single. As Bourne tries to chip into this deficit. The bottom of the 8th, it's 8-2 Falmouth. But Bourne trying to keep themselves going in this game because for where we're at right now, Falmouth looking like they're about to put a stranglehold on that 3rd seed in the West. New Contradas getting his first AB after being a defensive substitution in the last inning. Fouls back a first pitch fastball for strike number 1.
I was joking with Contradas. He's a Sun Devil, the 3rd baseman this year for ASU.
Pops up an 0-1. Right back out of play once again towards the same spot. And it's now 0-2.
Zach, in every outing that Contradas has been here just a couple weeks now, he hasn't been in the starting lineup. Been wanting to see another one of my Sun Devils, but now he gets a chance here as this late ad into the ball game.
Couple looks over to first, the 0-2. And he'll pop another one back towards the same spot. The housing behind the first base line is getting some baseballs on the roofs. As Coe lifts the leg, another 0-2. Ground ball in play this time as they'll field flip on the underhand toss to Bizana. Goes the short way, retires the side, 2-out single. Nothing more for the Braves in the 8th. We head to the 9th inning. A 6-run lead for Falmouth from Bourne. Top of the ninth inning from Doran Park. 3-4-5 for Falmouth in control, 8-2. Doors on top of the Braves, looking to take the season series with Bourne and give themselves a 5-point lead on the third place spot in the West. First pitch from Jack Sullivan is a slider to Walker Yannick. He comes up empty on a big swing at it. Yannick trying to get into the hit column today. 0 for 4, did score a run after a fielder's choice in the sixth. 0-1, back to a breaking ball. He didn't miss this one. Hit it hard, and Garota Grauer never saw it. He lost it in the lights. It's going to get all the way to the wall. Yannick's headed around second. He's going to third. The relay from Vastine is not in time. Walker Yannick finds himself a triple. The leadoff man aboard for Falmouth in a big way.
Well, maybe not the way you draw up typical triples, but that will go down as one. It's not a mental error. It's not an error in general. It's just sort of a kind of a weird situation that happens there. That's a routine fly ball that he didn't get off the end of the bat, Zach. And just like that, that's not only the second triple tonight by Falmouth, but they're up there at second in the Cape League in triples now because of this stretch of these near cycles. Entered with 6. Now you've got 8 on the season.
Tyler McGregor with an RBI chance takes just inside. Start off his at bat. You had to go back 7 years before this season for Falmouth when they had 2 triples in a game. That's the third time this season the Commodores have had 2 triples in a game. The 1-0 fastball fouled back. Started against Chatham. Nate Humphreys and Cade Snell had a pair of triples. Then last week, Gavin Turley and Travis Bazzana had 2 triples in a game against this Bourne Braves team. And now tonight, Gavin Turley and Walker Yannick, each with a triple. Breaking ball outside. And McGregor's ahead in the count 2-1.
Zach, on deck, Gavin Turley's going to have a shot trying to find that double to complete the cycle.
Sullivan just trying to work his way through this ninth. 2-1 on the ground, back up the middle, and past the diving New Contratus into right center. Tyler McGregor with an RBI single. It's 9-2, and here comes Gavin Turley.
The Doors, I don't know what's more impressive, just the bats that we've just consistently seen over this stretch of time here, or the fact that a pretty decent offense in Bourne being held now to this point to 6 consecutive zeros after that 2-run second inning to tie us up at 2. You're seeing a full effort here, complimentary baseball across the pitcher's mound and the guys in the batter's box today. And the hits keep coming for Falmouth. That's 14 now.
Here is Gavin Turley. First pitch fastball for a called strike. Turley's got a lot of speed. If he hits a ball in the gap, got to think he's going to try his hardest to end up at second base.
I mean, the double, not the hardest one in the world to get. Definitely not. Just anything gapped, like you said, would do it.
Sullivan delivers the 0-1. Misses low. A ball and a strike to Turley. McGregor's at first. 9-2 Falmouth in front. 9 runs on 14 hits for the Doors. 2 runs on 8 hits for the Braves. The lights illuminating the field here at Doran Park. Beautiful Sunday night for baseball. Turley fouls back a fastball right into the screen. And Sullivan's ahead in the count 1-2. Quietly a 3-hit day for Tyler McGregor as well. Stands on first base. He's got singles in each of his last 3 ABs. And now 1-2 count to Turley, who has had anything but a quiet 3-hit day. 1-2 fastball outside. Bodine tried to frame it to catch the corner, but couldn't get the call from J.C. Fernandez behind the plate. Evens it up, 2 balls, 2 strikes to Turley. 2-step lead for McGregor. Off the bag at first base. Swing and a miss on the slider. Turley chased it low and away. And that strikeout is the first out at the top of the ninth.
Another, most likely won't be a cycle for another one of those Beaver boys, but nonetheless, another really good effort from Gavin Turley, who has certainly turned it on here since that really, really slow start to the summer. And it's been really good to see him put the baseball in play the way he has over the last several weeks.
Now Michael Eze takes the fastball at the knees for a called strike. He doubled and came around to score in that second inning. Since then, strikeout, a pop out, and a ground out. McGregor still at first. Double play depth on the infield for the Braves. 0-1 slider snaps away just below the knees, evens it up. Nate Humphries on deck. He's reached 3 of the 4 times he's come up. Pair of singles in his last 2 at-bats. As they bends the knees from the right side. 1-1, ripped into left field. Hangs up for Kuroda Grauer to make the play. Round number 2.
1-1 off the bat. That's a pitch down in the zone. And just belted just right at Kuroda Grauer. The Doors are swinging some hot bats everywhere you look.
Now Nate Humphries will get a chance for a 3-hit night. He walked back in the 2nd inning, and then singles in the 6th and the 8th. Still have McGregor at first with 2 away. Humphries, line drive, single into right center. McGregor thought about trying to go first to third. Instead, he'll hold up. It is a 3-hit night for Nate Humphries. Falmouth with a 15-hit effort on the road, and a chance for more as Barry Walsh steps up.
Well, Zach, the barrels continue pretty much everywhere you look. It's just something that we've seen over this stretch of time for the Doors. And Nate Humphries all over that one. Good to see him get his hit stick going again. Had a nice stretch of time with some extra base hits in consecutive games. Slowed down a little bit, was hitless during a 3-game stretch. He has seemed to figure his swing back out again. That's good to see.
Barry Walsh is 1 for 4. Takes the slider low and away. Good block by Bodine. Makes it 1-0. Sliding towards the left-handed batter's box to keep it in front of him. McGregor with a walking lead at second. No one holding on Humphries at first. He's behind him. Sullivan comfortable from the stretch. Works from it exclusively, but had a lot of traffic so far in this inning. Soft ground ball to third. Charging is Foster. Throw on the run. Just gets Barry Walsh by half a step to retire the side, but the leadoff triple from Yannick comes around on the RBI knock from Tyler McGregor. 3 more outs between the Doors and another dub. See if they can get it done on the other side of the break on the Commodores Radio Network. Cody Delvecchio on to try and finish off what would be a 22nd win of the summer for Falmouth. He's got to face Gage Harrelson to start it, and he starts him with a fastball outside for ball 1.
Yeah, Cody Delvecchio. He's been settling down a little bit since he first got here.
Fastball at the knees catches the zone. J.C. Fernandez with a called strike makes it 1-1.
Fourth most appearances in NCAA Division I baseball this season in Pasadena at UCLA.
Works from the line. The righty delivers another firm fastball in the low 90s. That one at 92, and it's 1-2. Works quickly. Fastball, swing and a miss. First batter picks up his first strikeout of the outing. Quick out number 1 in the bottom of the ninth.
Oh, that's just quick. Hello, how are you? And nice to see you. I mean, he just gets through it there. I mean, fastball's there to dispatch of him rather quickly. 92 down in the zone, was picked out of the ground by Walker Yannick rather effortlessly, and that's a good way to start the ninth.
Here's Cam Foster. Fastball is outside. Vecchio hasn't needed to show anything else so far through his first 5 pitches. The 1-0 to Foster is something else. Goes to a slider at the letters. Slides back into the zone for a called strike. It's 1-1. Works over the head with the glove in the windup. Fastball outside. 2-1 to the Liberty Flame in Cam Foster. Two very different parts of the country, long way from each other. Big swing and a miss makes it 2-2. You've got Foster in Lynchburg, Virginia on the East Coast, and then you got the UCLA Bruin out in Los Angeles on the West Coast. The 2-2. Swing and a miss. 2 batters, 2 punch-outs for Del Vecchio. Electric arm showing up tonight for the Doors.
9 punch-outs for Falmouth defensively today, pushing that total up to 376 on the summer. Good for top 3 amongst all Cape teams, but that's been the power of this pitching staff. It's been that they strike out guys and they do it often.
Starts off Michelle with a swing and a miss on the fastball. Michelle had the home run in the second, but a couple of punch-outs since. Slider off the end of the bat, foul, and it's 0-2. Bourne down to its final strike on this Sunday night. 9-2 Falmouth in front. Del Vecchio facing Michelle, the righty against the lefty at the box. The 0-2. Fastball, strike 3 called. Del Vecchio enters out of the pen and needs just 12 pitches to strike out the side and shut the door on this one from Bourne.
Well, that didn't take long, and that's because you've got a pitching staff that is locked in right now. You got a good outing from Ryan McCarroll. Garrett Coe comes in and does his thing of holding it down for those 3 innings, and it's been funny. Cody Del Vecchio, I don't think it was by purpose to have him be this 9th inning guy when the game's out of, save opportunities for Joey Ryan, because in a division matchup like this, it was looking like it was going to be close. You expect to have Joey Ryan go, but why would you throw him when you're up by so many runs? You need to save him for potentially a big game tomorrow with Hyannis. But the point being, Del Vecchio's come in his last couple of outings. He pitched the 9th inning at Brewster, that 8-3 win. Got the inning done, no runs, Zach, and he started to find himself in a role here later in this bullpen when he's been needed, and he's executed, no doubt.
The Doors finding a way in a pivotal matchup. 5 points ahead of the Braves now for the 3rd spot in the West with just 3 games to play. Back at it tomorrow against Hyannis from the Gov. We hope you guys join us. It should be a fun one. Another big matchup in the West. 2 versus 3, potentially a playoff preview between the Doors and the Harbor Hawks. At the Gov, we'll have it for you then. First pitch scheduled for 6 o'clock for all of us. Here from Bourne, Destiny Sanchez and Matt Venezia on the broadcast with me, Laura Schroeder on the graphics. I am Zach Sardenik saying good night from Doran Park and hoping you have a blessed rest of your Sunday night.